Do you guys know who Patton Oswalt is? Well, a lot of these things brought him up, so I know who he is now, but I did not know who he was. But the first one on this page is Funny Boy Fishing. Does that sound familiar? No? May 29th, 2011. Does that sound familiar? Okay. Funny video of my son catching his first fish, May 29th, 2011. The fish Teddy named Free was released back into the water. My 3-year-old son. Not funny this time around? Okay. All right, just checking. This next one, Funny First Ever by Basan Jusiwu, April 2nd, 2011. Unfortunately, I don't get to have much time and resources to do the things I dream of doing. Thus, every little accomplishment I've done, people are so dumb. What happened on this day? History, news, entertainment first. It happened on this day. Strange, history, funny first from thevoiceofreason.com. Okay, that one also wasn't funny. This is not funny at all. All right, but this one is called Funny or Die, investigates. Who was the first commenter? Patton Oswalt, via Funny or Die, explores the mystery of who the very first commenter was. No? All right, still nothing? Okay. This is my last one from this page. A Night of Funny First, Evolution of a Kiss. Brown Paper Tickets, the first and only fair trade ticketing company. Okay. All right, our next reader. So I hope you're still getting drunk off the beer. It's only $1. Our next reader is Jennifer Munro, and she also sent me a bunch of awesome, ridiculous things about her that I loved reading. The first thing that she told me about her is that she likes to wear women's underwear. I was shocked. I was floored. I went and changed myself, actually. The second thing is that she steals her husband's pants because their brand name is Dickies, and it is irresistible to wear something called Dickies. Plus, they have a lot of pockets and a loop for a hammer, and you never know when a hammer will come in handy. When I read this is when I knew I would like this woman, because I had never met her before. And then she presents us with a challenge. So we're going to take this challenge right now. Jennifer Munro claims that she probably lost her virginity later and has slept with less people and taken less drugs than anyone in this room. Except for Nicole Hardy. I don't know how we test this, though. Should we take a poll?
You don't need to. Talk to Nicole. You can read my book next summer.
When's it coming out?
Next summer.
Yeah, but
July 1st, if I meet my deadline.
July 1st, 2013. Memoirs, Confessions of a Latter-day Virgin. Okay. Good job, Nicole. But back to Jennifer. Here's two more things. She's got famous relatives, and these are her grandfather and her great-uncle Jack. Her grandfather started Hawaii's first AA chapter in the 30s. And this is a direct quote. I love this. Apparently it didn't work because after a Saturday night bender in Waikiki, he remained passed out during the bombing of Pearl Harbor, not far from his bedroom window. And her great-uncle Jack was on Hawaii Five-0. Does anyone know that show? Yes. And he was a murder victim on half a dozen episodes, so she wasn't allowed to watch it. And he played a drunk on Magnum PI, so she wasn't allowed to watch that. I don't know what a person watches if they don't watch those two shows. The last detail that I know about Jennifer Munro is that, I'll just read it in her own words. I recently lit my face on fire by baking a cake with cognac in it. Afterwards, my neighbor thought I looked great and asked if I'd gotten a facial with a brow wax. I'm curious to see if the brow wax has stuck or moved on. So here's Jennifer Munro's bio. She's a freelance editor whose stories and essays have appeared in numerous publications, including Salon, Brainchild, 2 editions of Best American Erotica, 6 editions of Mammoth Book of Best New Erotica, and anthologies such as The Bigger the Better, The Tighter the Sweater, 21 Funny Women on Beauty and Body Image. Her humorous stories about sex are collected in The Erotica Writer's Husband, available tonight at the merch table, which is right in the back, for $10. She has been supported by Artist Trust, For Culture, Jack Straw, Fish Trap, and Hedgebrook. She blogs about unconventional motherhood and her quarter-century marriage to an unconventional man at straightnochasermom.com. Please welcome Jennifer Munro.
Right. So, you know, when she mentioned Hawaii Five-0, that was the first Hawaii Five-0, like not, you got that, right? Okay. Can you hear me? Like, should I move this? All right. I was going to drink water, but I thought this was like American Idol, you know, where they have to drink out of the Coke. Like, I have to, like, put the, is that right, Brian? Where should it go? I don't want to block my... Here? Where? All right. Oh, down here? All right, okay. So I love this stage. This is my favorite place to read. The audience is always awesome. The more you drink, the better we sound. That's my husband's line. Every time I've been on this stage, which I think is like half a dozen times over the years, I've read about sex. And I'm not going to read about sex tonight because I have learned it's more fun to have sex than write about sex. So I don't write about sex anymore. So use your imagination. Also, I'm a mother now, and that's what I'm going to read about tonight. So I'm going to give you some background. Last year, my husband and I adopted a 9.5-year-old son, and he'd been in foster care since he was a year old. He moved in with us when he was 6, and it turned out, we didn't know at the time, that we were his 12th family in 6 years. And the first year was very difficult, and that's why it took us like over 3 years to actually adopt him, because he was a little shit that first year, for good reason. And I don't want to get the poofs. So that first year, that was really hard to get through. My husband and I made it through because we would tuck our son into bed, and then we would just let loose with just this very twisted, dark, sick humor. And we would drink a lot after he was in bed. And are there any social workers in the room tonight? Because I'll buy you a drink at intermission. So this sick, twisted humor really, it was a steam valve. It released the pressure so we could face the next day and we continue on with this very difficult child. And we made it through, and we did adopt him, and he's doing great. Some of you know him, and if you have a 10-year-old, my 10-year-old is better than your 10-year-old. So this piece was born out of that questionable humor. It's written as a list with 3 sections, and because you're drinking, I will label the sections really well, because I wouldn't want you to think I'm reading like the positives when I'm reading the negatives, and so I'll keep that straight for you. So I've been working on this piece for a while, and I've had quite a few people give me feedback on it, and one friend who's nice, She wouldn't give me feedback on it. She said it was too dark for her, and it reminded her of Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal. And mine isn't that bad, but if you haven't read it, go home and read it. Yeah, it's about how it's a 200-year-old essay that stood the test of time. And mine, you won't even remember this by tomorrow morning because you're drinking. So but that one proposed that the problem of starving beggars in Ireland be solved by eating the babies, if you remember. So the title of my essay is Super Terrific Reasons to Adopt an Older Child. So let me get prepared here. Yeah. Super terrific reasons to adopt an older child. If you're feeling the urge to spawn, but haven't yet gotten around to replicating yourself, I urge you to consider the cost-effective and time-saving option of opening your home to a school-aged child. Act quickly before they're expelled. Speaking humbly from my unforgettable experiences I hope never to repeat, following are my persuasive, logical, insightful, well-articulated, and inarguable arguments for adopting ready-made progeny. It's an idea whose time has come, like reusable grocery bags. A win-win for you and the store that's peddling the goods. In the case of older children, this would be the government. Schlepping in your ratty old bags to buy crap that will never biodegrade inspires others to be as socially conscious as you. And you can really rub their noses in it. It's a feel-good, economical, crowd-pleasing, planet-saving option that's sometimes a hassle, like your grocery bags, don't forget your kid in the car, but oh so worth it. And just like tote bag design, you can choose your child's features, like hair, skin, eye color, and length of wrap sheet. Roman numeral 1, benefits to ponder. If you have trouble committing to a gym membership or internet company, just think about committing to 18.75 years of parenthood. Doesn't a dozen or a mere half-dozen years of parenting sound more manageable? You've kept rubber bands for longer than that. People will think you're highly moral, not just cutting corners out of laziness. If you are one of the 6 million U.S. couples struggling with infertility, why pay for expensive tailor-made when you can get an affordable off-the-rack model? Paying cash up front for a Petri dish baby offers no guarantees, and you could fork over a lot of dough and waste a lot of time to end up with nothing but a sore ass from all those hormone shots. You could have engaged in some free and fun hanky-panky spanking for that. Why not go the quick and surefire route? It's good for Mother Earth. Think of it as recycling. Folks believe that you're saintly because you're helping the disadvantaged, versus them suspecting that you got too drunk one night to remember your diaphragm or condom, or that you purposely chose to burden a helpless human being with your genetic predisposition for alcoholism, mental instability, and offensive use of off-color humor to cope with life's curveballs. No need to have sex when you don't feel like it, just because you're ovulating. In fact, there's no need and probably no opportunity to ever have sex again. Ladies, choose a boy so that your husband is saddled with all off-site potty trips supervision, giving you more time to peruse the wine menu. You don't have to stop drinking for 9 months of pregnancy. It's likely your son's birth mother didn't, so why should you? Feel proud that you and the woman who kindly gestated him for your convenience are both funneling money to the government via those extra tax dollars tacked onto every bottle of Chardonnay that you consume. Your non-abstinence thereby helps the government to care for her children until you step up to the plate, and it also subsidizes the cost of the kids' future jail time. Ditto, no avoiding caffeine for 9 months. Who needs the grumps? No diapers, no teething, no drool if you've chosen wisely. No rubber nipples in your dishwasher. Can we say unappetizing? No strollers or cribs. Think of the hassles you've avoided as well as the money you've saved, which you can put towards your child's criminal defense lawyer. Your child arrives with an impressive vocabulary, with creative new words that would make a rapper blush. Note to self, future career possibility for him. No matter how your child turns out, you can say it's not your fault. Here you have the indisputable, well-documented evidence of genetics, plus those oh-so-important first 3 years. You can't argue with research. What other mother can prove she's not to blame? On the flip side, if he turns out well, you get all the credit. You have an excuse for no college fund. You got started too late. He can hook up the stereo speakers to the television monitor, teach you how to TiVo and Wii, install your computer software upgrades, and direct you to the best porn sites. He can get his own cereal in the morning while you sleep in. Your child might be way better looking than what your below average gene pool could have produced. That's very true with mine. When he moves in, you qualify for unpaid maternity leave even though the kid's already in school. This gives you lots of luxurious me time to research reform schools, scholarships to military academies, as well as visitation schedules for the nearest juvenile detention facility. You get to enjoy having multiple personalities. You're happy, fulfilled mommy who feels joyous when the school bell rings every afternoon so she can be reunited with her new and precious angel, wondering how you possibly deserved this. And after the little shit is tucked in bed for the night, you are hard-drinking, hard-swearing mommy, wondering what the hell you did to deserve this. It is possible that you can brainwash him into thinking he should feel grateful for all you've done for him, which is a physical impossibility for your biological teenager. Roman numeral 2, added bonus, going domestic. With a surplus of supply, 10,000 foster kids in this state alone, and not much demand, you have your pick of age, gender, ethnicity, and types of psychological damage. If that's not enough of a choice for you, choose from the 500,000 foster kids nationwide. Great excuse for a road trip. You save money, thereby keeping your greenbacks on American soil to stimulate the local economy. It's unpatriotic to send your wads of cash overseas to buy a pricey imported newborn. No need to learn another language or travel the world. No pesky jet lag, customs lines, and foreign exchange rates in order to retrieve a foreign baby. No feeling guilty because you don't eat Watts stew or curdled goat's milk, thereby depriving your imported tyke of connecting with his cultural heritage and opening the door to snooty comment from the bad mommy police. No surprises. Your domestic older child arrives with stacks of records laced with warning signs that you can choose to ignore because he's so cute and you're so desperate. It will make that eager to help the less fortunate. Even if a war-torn or famine-stricken foreign country could provide you with falsified records, how on earth would you read them? The U.S. government pays you as a way to say thanks for taking a load off its back. Roman numeral 3, the downside. No blaming your weight gain, which can no longer go unmentioned on pregnancy. No baby shower with lots of free presents. But pat yourself on the back that you aren't contributing to foreign economies that depend on child labor to produce all that unnecessary crap. On the bright side, if you have no problem with child labor, like most shoppers in our country, put your own adopted domestic older child to work in your own home. Point him to the lawnmower and vacuum cleaner and take a load off those world-saving feet of yours. Yeah, you have to fill out a bunch of forms and pass some tests, criminal background checks, stuff like that. But hey, it beats childbirth. Doesn't getting fingerprinted sound better than an episiotomy? Once he screamed himself to sleep, you can't use the martini shaker, which could wake him up and start another scene like the one you just concluded. Ditto cracking the ice cube tray. So, like any good parent, you must always plan ahead. Pre-mixing and chilling gives a harried parent such as yourself a profound appreciation of the fact that gin was originally a medicinal remedy. When your son is around, you can't use that questionable gallows humor of yours, which has alienated your husband's family but charmed your child's gay teacher who started needing you for after-school cocktails, over which he continues to beg you to up your child's meds. Note to self, alienating the in-laws, maybe move to list of benefits. And you are struggling, you start struggling to find all the humor in all of this. And you might get to know yourself better than you would like. For instance, you might turn out to be one of his first 11 mothers who can't take the little turd for one more minute and returns him to foster care before the adoption is finalized. Then, how will you live with yourself? You might turn out to be his 12th and final mother who thinks she can't take the little stinker either, but who decides because of a character flaw, you've been called mulish, that there will be no 13th mom. Like any biological parent who doesn't get to return what pops out when the 9-month timer goes off, now you're good and stuck as his forever mom. Someone depends on you now. Making a difference in someone's life isn't what you set out to do, but it's what happens when you turn out his bedroom light and say, "Good night, I love you, see you in the morning." And he knows you mean it, and he won't be sent packing. But hey, you're not a brain surgeon or firefighter, and you're not even particularly adept at giving blowjobs, so you might as well stick with the one thing that makes that sorry-ass cubicle life of yours worthwhile. You might start believing your own lies, such as when you write him mushy motivational notes to tape to his bathroom mirror in the hopes that he'll believe your con and he won't make clay guns in pottery class the next day. You write, "You are the best son a mother could ever hope to have." And you find yourself crying, not only over the abundance of gray in your hair that you hadn't noticed because you never have time to look in a mirror, but because you are suddenly convinced to the depths of your pristine, unused womb that you are staring at the truest sentiment you have ever known. And when he calls you the awesomest mommy of all my mommies, and also the skinniest mommy of all my mommies, you not only start to believe him, too, but you find yourself believing in him. You believe so hard that he can and will survive his crummy start in life, and you want so badly for him to be happy that it hurts. And lastly, it hurts. Thank you.